Good morning. This is the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Sunday, July 7th. Looking at fire potential impacts for today, quite a few. We have a front coming through, which will finally provide some cooler, more moist conditions for parts of Idaho that were quite active yesterday. But south of this front, it will be warmer, drier, and windy, 20 to 30 mile per hour winds across parts of western and southern Nevada. Even higher winds across parts of western Utah and in the northwest corner of Nevada, even a chance of some isolated dry lightning. On Monday, cooler, more moist conditions spread a bit further to the east. Still some breezy conditions over some dry, fine fuels over central and southern parts of Utah. And finally, no significant fire potential in terms of wind, low humidity, or lightning as we go into Tuesday. Looking at the past 24 hours, some light scatterings of precipitation across far northern Nevada into Idaho and Wyoming, and a bit across parts of northeast Utah. You can see our lightning map here on the right-hand side, a bit across parts of Nevada, Idaho, and Utah. We'll see on the southern fringes of this if we get some new starts today, as well as the western areas as well. You can see some new ignitions here, new fires in the red, existing larger fires in the open red circles, and recent fires in the yellow. So you can see the activity picking up quite a bit region-wide across lower elevations once you get south of the mountains of central Idaho. But even a small fire here in parts of western Wyoming. So things are slowly changing, and that's due mainly to how dry we've been in the past 7 days here on the left, and even in the past 14 days on the right. So conditions have been significantly dry, and we're seeing the fuels finally respond. ERC map shows a lot more yellow and some orange on the map, and the upward arrows indicate rising ERCs, or drying fuels. Finer fuels, look at the 10-hour fuels, and you can see how critically dry they were yesterday from southern Idaho up and down into the central and southern portions of the Great Basin, especially southern Nevada, 1 or 2% on the 10-hour fuel moistures, and those are areas that will get some wind this afternoon as well. Looking at 100-hour fuels here across parts of west central Utah, you can see these fuels down between normal and record dry levels. Similar story a bit further south across the southwest desert of Utah, and even across parts of far southern Nevada. Those 100-hour fuels have dropped down to below normal levels, which for this time in July is about the driest time of year. The thing that's been holding some fires back is the live fuel moisture. Finally dropped down to near normal here across parts of southwest Idaho. Northwest Utah, though, still quite a bit above normal, and even above normal or well above record levels across parts of southern Nevada. Satellite imagery continues to show an unseasonably deep low pressure area over the Pacific Northwest, pushing in some clouds into Idaho. They had some fires there in the last 24 hours. This should help cool things off a little bit, but there still could be some good breezes in the afternoon. Not to wash that, but humidity should be much higher than yesterday. Also, some clouds come into southern Nevada and into the Arizona Strip. That may limit how much wind mixes down to the surface across our far southern areas, but in that in-between zone where we have fairly clear skies, we should see some good winds mixing down later this afternoon for parts of southern Nevada and southern Utah. Also, we'll be watching this area of disturbed weather as it slides into northwest Nevada, and the possibility of isolated dry lightning, something we have not talked about much this season, but we'll have to keep an eye on it. So for later this afternoon on the main weather map, you can see that trough low pressure. The area in green indicates clouds and higher humidity across parts of Idaho. Further south here into northwest Nevada, maybe enough moisture for some dry lightning, not enough moisture for significant rain. But it'll be a tight wind gradient. This is the area where we have high risk issued for wind. Parts of southern Nevada, southern and western Utah for today. Further north, humidity should be just high enough to prevent the grasses from being supercritical. And down here along the Arizona Strip, some high clouds coming through that may keep wind gusts more in the mid-20s as opposed to getting above 30 miles per hour. You can see the map here showing the strongest winds here across parts of east central Nevada and adjacent areas of Utah where we have that high risk. And you can see the humidity levels, single digits to low teens in our southern areas, but coming up into the mid to upper 20s across parts of the Snake River Plain in Idaho, and low to mid teens across parts of Wyoming. Now, for tomorrow, that trough low pressure still out here. drier air to the south. We don't have any high risk at this point, but continued dry fuels across our southern areas. Still moderately breezy, probably gusts in the mid to upper 20s through here. So still a concern with humidity levels in the single digits to low teens, but higher humidity. You can see these 20s and 30s as you head further north. On Tuesday, another deep low pressure system, unseasonably so, plows into Pacific Northwest with rain. Wind will be on the warmer, dry side. No significant winds for us yet. We will be drying things out, however. Humidity levels you can see similar to the past few days, starting to dry out a bit in Idaho. 3-day precipitation totals, not too much, a little bit in southern Idaho and central Idaho, maybe a couple of hundredths of an inch. Some of these little pin drops here is where we could see the possibility of dry lightning. Further down the road into Wednesday, moisture in a trough in the Pacific Northwest will stay dry here in the Great Basin. Still no sign of the monsoon starting to try to organize here across southern Mexico or southern Arizona. But you can see how much drier we're starting to get here on Wednesday. So keep an eye on that. That drying trend will continue into Thursday and Friday. Some slight organization of the monsoon try, but still very dry air across our portion of the southern Great Basin. We'll have to watch as trough low pressure start increasing winds for the western Great Basin as we go towards the end of the week. And as this high pressure builds, we get hot and dry. Maybe some lightning across far southern Utah and the Arizona Strip, but otherwise no significant organized monsoon as of yet. This is the 7-day precipitation totals. And the 8 to 14-day outlook, much above normal temperatures again. A return to normal conditions. So the monsoon, as we go from July 14th to the 20th, may start to come in drips and drabs across maybe parts of the Arizona Strip and southeast Utah, but nothing super organized as of yet. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day.